Hello everybody, Drew here. Well, welcome to another episode in the ongoing quest to get the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So I'm here in Chinatown. They're about to have a celebration over there in honor of New Year's. Just missed all the drumming. Anyways, I'm starting here at the monument to the founder of modern China, Dr. Sun-yat's son. Read it there. Father of the Republic of China, was born on November 12, 1866, one of the greatest figures in China's long history. Three principle, which is based on Abraham Lincoln. Of the people, by the people, and for the people. That's a good starting point. Well, I'm just going through the noise, and I'll take you out through Chinatown. See it? That's cute. Okay, so I wanted to start here because I have a really fun anecdote to tell you, and something serious, as you see from the title of the video. Well, anyways, I start with the Sun-yat sen, because a few years back when I was in the Bay Area, I was out in San Francisco, and I was out in the North Beach area, which is kind of like the Italian section, or it used to be anyways. Okay, so that's the tourist area of Chinatown. So I'm out in Frisco, and I run across one of these Maoists. I don't know if you've seen them, but they have a number of them still sort of active in the Bay Area, which is not much, because they're just these pathetic leftovers from the 60s, just there to mouth just the old worn out slogans, which is really pathetic. So I approached him, and I've known him somewhat. I've seen him at other events, because they kind of hang around events and labor unions and so forth like that. So I asked him a question. Since you guys talk about revolution, I'm just curious why you don't talk about Sun-yat sen. Because after all, he did lead a revolution. All his life, most of his life, was dedicated to overthrowing the old Manchu regime and turning China into a modern republic based on Lincoln and Washington and the American Revolution, which is cool. And that kind of blew his circuits, because I was talking about a bit of history that was very uncomfortable to him, because he'd been indoctrinated in Maoist, right? Mao. And we end up here at the other revolutionary. We put my bike down. So, this is the other revolutionary, Joan of Arc, young girl who saved France from those damn British. Right, she came to the rescue of her country, and I find that this tradition of young ladies coming to the rescue of their nation, that's very old. I actually saw a reciting of the Mulan poem, and it's a poem about a young girl who came to the rescue of the Emperor of China. And from what I understand, Vietnam has a similar kind of historical girl figure in their history. Wow, isn't that nice? Very nice. So yeah, continuing back to our story. Yeah, so I asked this so-called Maoist Well, what about Sun-yat? I mean, he did lead a revolution, right? And that kind of blew his circuit some, and he just did blah, 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 like that. And it brought up the issue that Mao is essentially a Chinese Hitler because of how much death and destruction and mass murder and torture and all sorts of horrible things like that. And, I mean, wouldn't you rather talk about a real revolutionary like Mr. Sun, who actually wanted to create a modern nation with industry and high living standards, instead of this butcher? And then the funny thing is, this Chinese guy jumps in at that point and says, "Oh yeah, Mao, yeah, he was like Hitler." And at that point, the Mao's just blew his circuits and kind of wandered off. So that's funny. If you want to deal with Maoists, if you ever see them, I mean, you can tell what they look like. They're pathetically, you know, horribly dressed, real leftovers from the 60s. These burnt-out hulks of humans. So that's, if you want to have fun with them, use that. And Sun's history, of course, is good reading. It's definitely an inspiring tale about a guy who commits his life to making things better, right? And that's always a good thing. And this brings up a whole other issue, too. Because from what you saw in the title, we're faced with a crisis right now whereby by tomorrow we could see an exchange of nuclear weapons. And it's an issue that the British Empire, which committed horrible, horrible atrocities throughout all history, the Opium Wars, and the funny thing about Mao and Sun-yat is that the British backed Mao. And this always freaks the leftists out a lot when you're bringing up the issue that Bertrand Russell and Dewey and people like Needham were there in China to basically create people like Mao, you know, ruthless, crazy dictators, just slaughter indiscriminately, torture, and you bring that up and they just go, whoa! I had a subscriber, Gil, and he went ballistic over that issue. Left, I don't know. I mean, Bertrand Russell was a British imperialist. His whole family history is one, like I said, of these aristocrats who were dedicated to empire. And Russell himself stated that. He was dedicated to an empire, just he differed how the empire was going to rule than the traditionalist, you might say. So in a way, he was like the old Venetian party that took over Venice and created the new Venetian Empire. But well, I digress, sorry. But I think this is a good ending point here, because Joan of Arc was a young lady who led a revolution to create the first republic, which happened under Louis XI. That the principle of a nation that governs on the consent of the people was first actually put into place. Imperfectly, of course, but you can't really do much within a monarchy, because once a good monarch is dead, you can have a really fucked up one, like Henry VII. Right? No, Henry VIII. Yeah, his dad was pretty decent, actually. Anyway, yeah, so that's the kind of funny thing, that what she started in the creation of a nation-state republic, which became ultimately into the birth of the American Revolution and the Constitution and a nation of, by, and for the people, is now under threat of elimination, as Tony Blair did in 1999 when he said, "We are at the end of the era of Westphalia," which is the treaty in 1648 where it was enunciated that, okay, we're going to end this period of endless religious and civil war based on the principle of the benefit of the other. Right? Started by, like I said, with this revolution that she led. So, that's it. We're in a period now where the British are going to go for a nuclear war using Iran as a pretext, which was similar to the situation we had back in 1962, where because of the Cold War set up by the British, thanks to that fucker, Winston Churchill, we were that close to being commanded to getting wiped out. And now we're in the same situation again. Only this time the British using Obama. Right? The way they used Khrushchev before. Well, so tomorrow, possibly, we could be seeing an exchange of nuclear weapons, starting with Iran. Pardon me. So, this might be the last vlog I make. Who knows? There's a lot of people that are, like I said, trying to put the brakes on the drive for war. So, this is Drew. Thanks for coming along and listening. See you later, and I hope we get through this, but the end might be nigh. But we'll see. Alright. See you later.